Borough Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting at 6:01 p.m. We can have a moment of silence.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
All right, approval of the minutes for July 11th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for July 11th, 2024. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We do a roll call.
That's not in my agenda.
Sorry.
Roll call.
Andrews,
Here.
Vermer, Kaufman, here. Southward, here. Canfield.
Citizen comments. And new business. So starting Old Home Week Committee video.
Oh, so we do have the DVD, but we are unprepared and don't have the means to play it. So I think I will go back after this meeting and see if I can't just print some of these pictures or find a way to make this a digital on a drive so that we can do it next meeting.
Okay.
We'll just pick that up next time.
Sure. So table Old Home Week. So for our next agenda, we can already include that to stay in the business. Our Riverfest update.
Yeah, I have a couple of things for you guys in regards to the Riverfest event that took place June 28th through 30th down in River Park, as well as offshore of Lancaster County at lots of sites. This is just a copy of our blog. It's the burning of the bridge story in the event that you don't know why we celebrate Riverfest. And then we have a snapshot review of Riverfest. If you guys have any questions, can go over it. It's basically just a readout of all the people involved, volunteers, organizations, some of the visitation numbers, and some of the monetary money raised on behalf of other organizations. I think it was overall very successful. It's bigger than other years, and we managed to have 100 racers. So it kind of pushes the boundaries of what we can do in the River Park when it comes to parking and stuff. But, it's a really cool event that's situated right in our regional history. One thing I did forget, and I made this list because I thought it might be useful for us and other events. This is a list of some of the heritage partners, recreation partners, and organizations that were involved. Call these our friends, just like casually, but they're good to call on for other events too. I thought Parks and Rec might be able to start a network using some of these guys in our network. See a lot of places we recognize.
Yeah, I saw, so I just had a meeting where Discover Columbia is today, and I was like, dang, I wish I could have got home sooner.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we're gonna try and get some traction doing some of these table and events, so we'll build a network so I can find out who our friends are.
So does this go, like, is there any tour involved for the pillars? Does anyone ever take boats along them, or has anyone talked about building a walking bridge across them?
Across
Or,
the piers, the over piers,
yeah,
absolutely, that has come up several times in the River Park redevelopment plan. However, anytime it is brought up, in the original plan, there is like a walkway across a few of the piers and like a hammock hang. It has gotten a lot of not so great feedback from engineers. I would love to see that. I know that PennDOT is feeling some pressure from some of the other towns and municipalities around here about how their project is going to affect commerce and how they would like to see a footbridge put in, but I don't know what the real feasibility of a project like that is. I think the biggest red tape would be just the engineering involved and the piers,
Did we
they're
just
so much
have, like,
lower.
build bridges or something?
I think they're worried, because historically, all of the bridges that have stood on those pillars have been destroyed by floods or storms, so I think it's the fact that it's half the size of Veterans Memorial. I do think it's doable with, maybe
I mean,
some,
what if they put some internal, like in the middle of the pillars, like a column, and then went from those if they had to be higher?
I think we just need an engineer or a firm that is willing to take that project on with all of the issues too. Some people have talked about, couldn't it just be, permeable, that it could go under, that it could be flooded, like it could be like
Oh,
raided or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, they have those like ones right on top of the water that do the really
Other big places have them, so it definitely is possible. I just don't know how that happens here, but that would be awesome.
Well, I know that, Eric has brought it up at council and down at River Park. It's like a fishing pier too, kind of like what you see in Ocean City, Maryland. And maybe have restaurant out
Yeah.
there, maybe have
They have
like
like
fish and tackle out there.
California, they have this whole pier and it's nothing but like restaurants and little gift shops.
And you mentioned Discover Columbia, and I have to tell you, Justin Rule would love to see a footbridge on there too. He's talked about it before. We'll get the money, just how do we do it? And that just seems to be where the conversation is, how do we,
What
how
about the Newsom people, stone, living stones? I know that's not all that needs part of it, but maybe the link to look into it.
I would love to know where we could start on something like that, or answering some of the big questions that were hung up there.
Do you know what they're using for Maple Park engineers?
Yeah,
Is that just different?
so, the first problem you run into with the bridge crew is, they, excuse me, that's West Hampton.
Okay, so we have to partner with them and Wrightsville.
Yes.
Do they have to spearhead that effort?
Be the ones-
So that would be the hurdle there.
Don't they have their own whole Parks and Rec team though?
They do a very robust one, and they are very invested in Chiquita County Park.
The next issue is, I can't think of, his name for your group.
Mark Potts?
Mark. We brought this up at the River Park Committee. Mark said that they actually looked into this, just a bird's eye view looked into it, and they estimated around $20 million to do it. So,
What for?
it's actually not a bad price.
It's a big price.
But once you start looking at county and possibly state, the state is pushing for walking trails and everything else.
So that means they're putting grant money out for it.
Or they're just putting money out for it, period. But you have to have a coalition of the counties, the municipalities, Hatfield, Columbia, and Wrightsville, to go together and push for it.
Would it be like the same effort that it took to get the trail done, a big, everybody coming
Yeah,
together to
it'd
fight
be a little
for
bit
that?
much bigger than that, but yes. Yes.
That's my understanding.
So it's not unreasonable, or it's not undoable, but it's just gonna take a lot of work, and it's not gonna happen overnight.
Do you think banks still like throw money and stuff like that?
Thanks.
Yeah, isn't that how the first one got going?
It was a private bridge back then.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh, So anyway, the other hurdle is right now with the construction of the old bridge or reconstruction of the old bridge. There's been talk of possibly just building a new bridge instead of repairing that one. So
Turn that
there's,
one into a walking bridge.
It's kind of like a wait and see till the bridge project
yeah,
gets started
I really
almost.
want to push anything right now. I think it's a great idea. I'm for it. I know Eric over at Whitesville's for it. I know there are some people in Enfield for it, but as far as I know, I think it's kind of just wait and see what happens out there first.
And I will say that PennDOT is starting to prepare to do some public meetings here in the fall, so maybe we'll get some information, maybe not.
There's, I know the supervisor or manager for West Enfield sent out a PennDOT saying the cost now costs more to repair that bridge than it does to bring
Oh,
the
the
one
other
up.
one, wow.
So put a new one up beside it and use the old bridge as a walking bridge, a bike bridge, whatever.
There is a lot of talk going on right now involving Enfield, the bridges, PennDOT, and the effects on commerce.
But to answer your question, it's YSM Landscape Architects. She's doing however we want it. And that's, and obviously our engineer, Dad Ronaldo from CS Davidson, he's involved as well.
Very.
And we had a meeting 3 weeks ago. Looks like the original plan was 3 full courts. Then it went down to 2 full courts and a half court. And then it went, I know there was some interest in pickleball.
A multi-use court. They wanted
Instead
to
of
put-
a half court. I believe the way it looks, it'll probably be 3 courts. And a bathroom. And there's 2 phases to it, phase 1 and phase 2. We're currently on phase 1.
That is double
What's that?
that was in our business, but hey, it's okay.
It kind of, because I was wondering if that engineer could do something with the water, but that's probably too different.
It sounds like it's really gonna be well involved until, and if it does,
But
get
yeah,
to the point that's
yeah.
a new bridge, we're all like kind of astounded on that.
Yeah.
We've all talked about
I was
it.
gonna say, we're preparing for chaos down there in the next couple of years, until the project gets underway, because it's just a lot of question marks.
Yeah,
What about a temporary thing? I think people would love that. They would literally
you
think
know,
it
we're
was
talking about that. I think Wrightsville and Columbia talked about how we're gonna get people across.
Yeah, that's why I think PennDOT was doing some work on Ormond Bridge and some new bridges up in Harrisburg in preparation for the
Yeah.
traffic diversion
Yeah.
in the event Route 30 goes down and there is no crossing.
Alright, Alowich Parks and Recreation Table Event.
So excited, yes. So I got the application from Chris, thank you, Tiffany. Megan and I were talking about all the events that are coming up, right? Like, we want to be present at least once a month somewhere. And this is October,
It would be like the next one after we
The
get
next
through all
one
this.
after September,
Oh, September.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about September.
26th. Yeah, I don't think we're doing the August movie night, but then we're doing the Chalk the Walk for September. And then this could be our October. So what we're proposing is that we do an event, Parks and Rec side of it, and do an apple find.
Since the Alba Twitch is an apple snitch.
Mhm.
Yes, so we do an apple find for the kids. We paint a couple
Kind of like
gold,
Easter egg hunt.
plastic gold, and then put a whole bunch of real apples out there and have an event out there. Originally, we talked about doing Rotary Park because that's right there and diversion from all the people going in there. But after talking to Chris and Rick, they said, why don't you just utilize the area beyond, underneath the bridge in the river park?
Call it the north
It's
end.
big enough, the north end, okay. And just use it there, set up your table there, bring everybody over, tell the kids or the family, we're meeting at 2:00 for the apple, whatever we decide we're going to do. And then walk them all over, and then no one's having to go over tracks or anything like that, they're still within the park. And we're not crossing streets and stuff like that.
My only concern would be, I seen in the borough event calendar, like the spreadsheet they send out, Chris is expecting thousands of people. So my only concern after seeing that is we need to confirm with him if he needs to use the north end of the park, the meadow for parking.
He said no. I asked him Saturday,
And he's not
he
using
basically,
it.
him and Rick said they were both suggested that part. And I was like, oh, okay, because I honestly forgot it was there.
We usually use it for overflow parking on the
Yeah,
event,
I
which
know, you
assumed
said
they were
that,
going
yeah,
to,
and he is expecting a lot, and I said, well, are you gonna bus people in, like, from Columbia High School or Blackhawk? He said, no, he didn't
but I
feel
don't know
like,
what his plan is for.
yeah, I
parking.
don't know but he's telling us we can use that.
If he's not using it, not having to go
Yeah.
across the railroad would be great. I know one year a train blocked it for 3 hours, so there
Yeah,
are
remember
always
that?
contingencies down in the river park. Yeah, so that would be
People
good.
were walking around it, walking over it.
That was scary.
It was, just a little bit. So that was what Megan and I were just kind of coming up with some marketing
Passive
ideas.
thing, but it's still fun.
Yeah, and we're still present.
And Chris isn't charging us to be a vendor.
Yeah, he can.
Free. Yeah.
Yeah, he can. And he said he wasn't, so I still have to fill out this application. And
Absolutely.
he did get his to you, right?
He got it to the borough, which is what's important.
Yes, I asked him about
Me and
that.
him will touch base at some point.
Good.
Yeah, the borough's timeline's a little longer.
Yes. So it would be an apple hunt type of thing. Okay. And I don't know if there's a fourth Friday for October. I haven't really found anything out on that, but for now, I would say we can just vote on that.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
am I allowed to make motions, or does that have to be like everyone else? I don't know what that means.
And I do.
Can I make a motion since I suggested it?
Yeah.
You want to do that? I make a motion for us to attend the Alba Witch Festival and participate and have a game there for children. And a
Second.
table.
Second.
Okay, so we got it. Okay, great.
All in favor, everybody? So are you okay to complete that?
Yep.
Get it to me?
I'll take care of that. And what Heather told me is any event we're going to do, we have to present that to council on Tuesday. I wasn't aware that we needed to do that. So we have because they get our minutes, right? So not the movie's already good.
Yeah.
But that Chalk the Walk and the fourth Friday, and this now Alba Witch thing. I'm glad we talked about this so we can bring it forward and
We
I'll
don't-
be there too.
We don't need a special event permit for everything, but we just
No.
need to go and let them know we're
Yes, and
planning.
if they're cool with that,
That
and
makes
good with us doing it. That they know we're doing that event, and they make that public knowledge on their minutes, I guess. Eric's supposed to be our representative. We'll still be there. I can be there and talk about it. till May.
I have to be at the meeting anyway, I think, so.
You do too.
Good,
Good.
good. Schedule for your one on Tuesday now.
Okay, we got this then. All right. Thank you. There are other ones coming up, that we talked about.
I don't know if after October, I think after October, we should maybe just not worry about events for a little bit, except for maybe something on Small Business Saturday.
Did we
Yes.
talk about a
I think
turkey
it-
trot or something?
Yeah, turkey
Do you want to do a
trot.
turkey sponsor?
Yeah, something there around Thanksgiving, but then I think it'd be good to pull back and start planning like 4th of July and really look at next year.
Because the merchants are gonna be all that business, Christmas stuff going on,
buy
and it's gonna be busy. We can always put a stand in the market, we can always pop up somewhere, with our stand to just show our presence. Anyhow, I think,
So we have to, you guys are on Tuesday. Someone, can you let Heather know that Parks and Rec needs the approval, because she asked me earlier, and I said not that I know of, but I think this needs to come to her pretty quickly.
What's that?
We have to say that we're going to events, we have to go
Oh,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
council.
yeah, that's no problem.
yeah, they're
Okay.
having it Tuesday, and she does know, I kind of spoke with her today, and that's why she said, oh, no, you need to let us. I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be in our minutes tonight if we all approve it.
I think the big thing is that there's going to be expenses.
Yeah, we don't know what they are yet.
Right. But I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do for prizes.
Couple bushels of them.
I doubt it won't cost much. I don't know what you're gonna do for prizes or whatever. They're gonna hang out trinkets, whatever you're gonna do.
Right.
But that kind of stuff is what needs to come to council.
Okay. For what we want to purchase.
Yeah. And understand, there's money set aside for Parks and Rec. But that doesn't mean
Everything's approved.
everything's approved. So we budget money, and then you guys come and request allotments of money for this, allotment of money for that, whatever.
Yeah, we haven't even,
No, I'm
you
just
saying
explaining,
it.
I'm explaining to you.
So are you on the calendar year or fiscal year for your budget?
Calendar and fiscal.
Oh, you're on both.
Yeah, January 1st.
Okay. You know what I mean by fiscal, don't laugh.
I know, we gotta see.
Not laugh. Anyways, so, anyways,
So we'll have to get approval on Tuesday.
we just
before
need to let them
Chalk
know,
Hill.
yeah. Tuesday.
Okay, so make
But it
sure,
sounds,
make sure we include the 4 Fridays, and what did we all do last time? What
So-
did we come up with?
Well,
We had the 12th of October,
the 26th and the 27th. So we're gonna do 26th, and we talked about being there from 1 to 6 on the 26th. So we'll set up out front. The other part was that we wanted to draw kind of a hopscotch activity thing that comes around the borough to the other side for the kids to be active in, hop like a.
yeah, like a little
rabbit.
obstacle course.
Like an
Something
obstacle course
already
that they
known.
can follow. So we'll have a table that day at 1 o'clock. We figure come down here, set up at 11. And while we're chalk, we'll have slips and guidelines on what they need to draw, how it's going to work.
We might have to go out at 11 and number sidewalks.
Yes, that was the thing. Once we find out from MAC who wants it in front of their store.
And then we can assign people numbers.
Yes.
Or people choose the numbers and then we can match them for when we need to judge or whatever.
Yes,
A system of sorts.
So I got another great idea that someone gave me today, Tiffany. Kudos to her. We were going to have like the mayor, teachers, or someone voting, right? She had an excellent idea. Why don't we drop coins by the actual system? You could put coffee cans or something there, but someone put a penny in, and the most money that is
My
raised.
only concern is what happens with the money. after.
That's what Heather said.
Yeah.
She says, I have to check to see what we do with the money. Because reality is we can't keep it. I'm like, well, why can't we just donate it?
Because that came up in conversation when we talked about selling shirts, and that was a big no.
You know, we can sell shirts. It just has to be for what we paid for them. We can make no money off of them.
Okay.
That's
So
what
that's
she
the thing,
told
is
me.
no money can be made.
Basically, yeah. So we could probably give this money, donate this money to an organization in town.
Well, I almost like the idea, I like the idea of coins or something being dropped, but what if whatever's being dropped to vote
Yeah.
is collected at the merchant stands? And you really connect the merchant part, like the Fourth Friday merchant community. So in theory, you can't vote unless you've been strolling around on Fourth Friday and collected some voting pieces. I mean, maybe that's too complicated.
Yeah, it should go within their thing. But they're not gonna be set up till Friday. We're setting up and doing everything on a Thursday and taking pictures, trying to
That's
vote,
too much
right?
happening altogether, yeah.
Only if they don't, well,
We could make people come to our table and collect voting tokens of sorts
that's true.
and make them interact with us and skip pennies and just get like,
Get like little coins that I get from,
oh, you know
Yeah,
those little
okay.
bingo markers?
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought that too. Yeah, big market.
And then we just get some cans or something and people vote that
I
way.
need to drop them in. Yeah. That could be
It should be
fun.
inexpensive.
So
Or even beads, I don't know.
I like it that then you know they stop in front of that store. And
That's that forced interaction, which is really what
Yeah.
all the events are about, is
so
talking
will
to people.
what would they draw be ready for Friday on a Thursday night? Will it hold up?
Well, that's why we talked about snapping some photos.
Yeah.
For a contingency, we could always
Yeah.
run a slideshow.
Yes,
But
yes.
then the voting process is a lot.
It's gonna look different. We're gonna have to have an alternative to that. So,
Maybe I
we will, we'll figure it. That can't be that hard.
Those are some great ideas.
Yes. Yes. So, that's gonna be the 5th of October.
I think it's the 6th.
Is it? I thought his paper said the 5th, because I thought it was the 6th too. It
the
says
first
Saturday the 5th, so maybe it's
Let
wrong.
me double check.
Check that.
Oh, it is the 5th. No, he's right. It's the
Okay.
6th is Sunday.
All right. All right, so the 5th, I think you and I did write the 6th down because we were
Yep.
brainstorming. I think we ought to note that we didn't get out to National Night Out.
Yes, National Night Out or Fourth Friday.
Yeah.
Really, the ones that we had planned so far.
Yeah, we did not have equipment for Fourth Friday in July. And we did not, National Night Out got canceled.
Yeah.
So we were unable to make that event. So we are planning strong and hard for movie night.
No rain.
No rain.
Which,
So,
speaking of movie night, Liz, you good with everything that's on that flyer, is the information
Yeah,
correct?
you like this?
Yes, I told her to fix that, so do I have, is one
This-
thing to put in that, that's for like the.
this is, you're gonna cut these in half.
Okay.
They're half sheets to put in your backpack. There's 40 here, so you can get 80. And then this, we're gonna all split.
Okay. Yep.
And
You
then
said
the
you have
purpose
people to go
digital
around the
copies.
store, you meant local, downtown or everywhere? Okay, good. Then I'll let you guys kind of do that.
Okay.
And then I can also piggyback around to see, okay? You let me know. All right?
I want it.
Not sure.
I don't know why it would need to be approved.
Digital things need to be approved. I imagine print things may require some approval. I don't know, and I don't know
Can you
how.
include this with Tuesday?
Yeah. Well, we already have it up on the website, don't we? No. We just have it on the calendar, but we don't have this flyer up.
So yeah, we should make sure that they're gonna approve the event. They already approved this event, approved the flyer, and then approved the other events. And then the borough can get it hopefully digitally put up very quickly.
We are
'cause that's
4
the
days
14th.
out, and
Yeah.
I don't like.
So these backpack ones are basically going out the day of. Like
Yeah.
Our kids programming, they're getting that day. So that is, we'll just stick them in the
Yeah.
backpack a while, but before we put these under the stores, maybe
Yeah,
bring that up on Tuesday.
because I was hoping to flood social media between that tonight and tomorrow.
Well, we could reach out to Heather or somebody. and see
I'm
if
gonna
we
do
can
that
get
now.
approval,
I'm gonna say, did
And she
we-
could digitally have a look at it. That kind would be nice. Seems like we've all been bothering Heather today. She told me I can bother her till 9 p.m. After that, that's it.
I send
was
it,
a
but she
little
doesn't
too
have to
liberal.
respond.
That's right, at least I know I tried.
She's the same.
I know, she's very helpful in everything, the information.
I feel for her being pulled too many ways right now, but she's been a great resource today, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's been very helpful. She's kind of been my go-to since it started after.
Somebody's got to answer all the questions we have, right?
Yeah.
Because we just look at each other like. I don't
She
know.
said no. No, she did, we do not need approval for a
So
movie
we
flyer.
can just
Okay,
start with.
I'm still gonna snap her a shot of it,
Okay,
so she
yeah.
can see it.
Maybe she can get a physical copy tomorrow, so let me know.
Yeah, we can put it in the box.
We'll leave one right here for when she comes in.
There you go. Keep them the seat for him.
Okay. She's into chocolate. She can't wait to get a box.
It's a
That's
draw.
fun.
I can imagine my daughter doing it, because she's a great artist.
Okay, so, I was not here to talk about Turkey Trot. Did we have a date for that last time?
It's done usually on Thanksgiving Day, yeah. And I can tell her that they have done it in North Carolina. It's pretty intense. Like, it's a lot.
It's like planning a race, which
And it's a
not
holiday.
trying to have Parks and Rec do right now. I'm doing a race the last couple of summers in June for Riverfest. Like it
So maybe this is something we put on for like after when we plan July next year. like,
Yeah.
start
I
off
would
with-
like to do some type of recreational event for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
or like Small Business Saturday with
That would
what
be
Matt puts
okay.
on would be fun.
Yeah, I think he's got a great idea with that. It's just, I don't know how we make that happen. In conjunction to what Royal Park actually has.
Well, keeping it as a grow to event, I think is a great alternative.
So we're gonna
So
move that into, for tabling. that. Okay,
We've got-
there are some other events, but we can bring that back later. We have some winter and the Mayfly,
Oh,
spring into
We
May.
can talk all day about that.
Yeah, the May, we're already looking at May, something to do in May. Yes. All right. These kids are gonna be busy in North.
Hey, even though that they don't happen all in the same year, having something to be excited
Yeah.
about, and this event didn't work, so let's pull this one off the paper. I
Yeah.
think that trial and error is gonna be a lot of fun for us moving forward,
Yeah,
and we'll learn a lot, and a lot about each other.
Okay, next we have back to old business. So discuss what park team leads and what that looks like. I asked to keep this on because, I wanted Angie to kind of be on. She wasn't here for the rest of the conversation on it, but she's not here again. I feel like overall we have a good idea with it and, everyone kind of picked their parts.
Yeah.
Does everyone know the parts that they have?
I have River and McGinnis.
think I have River and Town Square, although I would love to be involved with Rotary too if there was a meeting.
And I would too, further.
We can do 3 at Rotary, because honestly, I feel like that park's left in the dark a lot.
Yeah, it's so close to
It's a
River Park.
great
and I love-
park.
Yeah, like they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Angela is definitely a Rotary.
She is. We'll just help her and
Perfect.
emphasize one more.
Do you guys have any ideas of like the neighborhood league end of it? Like anyone in that community specifically?
What part?
Any of them, the ones that, so Town Square, I guess Nora has kind of the connections to that, and the neighborhood there, but we don't have that connection. So like neighborhood league, so like I would go to Kurt and say, hey, what do you think? Because he's in that area and already doing events at Maple. Or, we used to have what was called park supervisors in Columbia, LEDA, Lancaster Employment Training Association, or something like that, would train and pay park leads. One of our coaches for a long time in the school district was part of that back when I was growing up. So finding out how to get back to that, even if it's, whether it's between the summertime, like between school, or even an after school, maybe they go.
That's a good thing that you brought that up. I had a conversation with Police Chief Jack Romer regarding parking in the River Park or just in Columbia in general then. And he brought up that program and some other ideas on how we can get employed or paid people into our parks, monitoring them, helping with parking and running programming. So not sure specifically about that program, but I think
Yeah, so I have very basic information. I have to dig like, what are they even at? I was also pointed to like Boys and Girls Clubs might know or have an idea of how to do that. But same, I've been told that there is training and paid, like, as long as you don't go over 2 hours a day or something, the certifications are not as serious. Like, the background checks, yes, everybody would do the child cams and all that, but as far as being certified for anything extra, it's not like running a day camp 8 hours a day or something like that. So that's another thing, like, that part of this park team leads that it turns into us finding out how to get somebody paid maybe 2 hours a day, whether it's even over the summer or if it's after school, like whichever how it works. Maybe it starts with one and goes into another. But I grew up with that in our parks here, like in the 90s, and it just hasn't been around for very long.
I was
Was
gonna
that
say,
this
I don't
summer?
remember that
Was
ever
it
even
just
being
summer?
I
around.
don't remember back then, but it probably was.
It probably wasn't ever in Rotary Park. That was my closest.
There
park
was-
ride.
It was for like 1 or 2 years, but it didn't last. It was at Maple for longer.
I do remember it being at Maple, but that was too far from me at that.
Yeah, I remember going to Rotary at least 1 year, but it could have been 2 years. The little shed that they had there, they pulled it out of there, they had little wooden tables set up for the kids, but that one was definitely summer. Maple could have been longer, but, I remember Maple more.
Doesn't Marietta have someone they use
So
already?
I would say if there was one thing Parks and Rec was gonna take on and do, I would love to see some type of programming in the park, and not just me, I think all of Columbia has been gunning for that since
Yeah,
we
they
were
have.
children and before. Marietta does offer it, believe it or not, it's crazy, but it's because I think the Hempfield Rec Center and Gears program does it for them at their parks. I don't know that that's an option for us or not. I don't know how they work that out, but
Yeah, my kids, I did Columbia as a kid. And then my children went in Hempfield, like parks every summer, because I just drop them off in the morning before work, pick them up at noon, go home. And I hired the college student who was over that park
yeah.
to babysit my kids so I could go back to work. She'd take them to the pool and then bring them home, and I would come home from work. It was really an awesome, I do think a lot of college students, like Millersville, something close, that maybe they can use that as part of their volunteer time. Maybe we look at even students, high school students who are graduating, who need to put in volunteer hours to maybe do
The
something
only
like
issue
that.
is when you're doing stuff with kids, you still need adults
You do.
who are
Yeah.
checked to be with kids.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
can utilize
Everybody has
volunteers.
to have their checks, yeah.
Yep.
So that's the neighborhood lead side of it. So we
Okay.
have our team lead, like boards,
Yeah.
and we're each gonna approach a park. But it's with the idea in mind, it doesn't stop at us and just reaching out to the park. It goes to us and then to, if we can get these program leaders or the 2 hours or somewhere, whatever that looks like, and then somebody that lives in the area of the park that might be able to monitor it and let us know that that's something that we're going on. Or things that need addressed. Kind of basically the setup Nora has with the neighbor at Town Square.
Then I do think I would like to be on Rotary too, because I don't know that River Park needs that exactly. It
Yeah,
has needs in the
yeah.
park, so yeah, I like the idea of being on River Park and Town Square.
Town Square landscaping, we don't have any further information to my knowledge, so we can go past that. Discuss consistency and Parks and Recreation of already happening events. We did touch base on a little bit of that. And you guys are gonna follow up Tuesday with council to let them know what we have planned so far. Do we need to make a motion for you guys to do all of that?
I think we know, because we made a motion to, for the event, that we
So
all
that was-
agree, yeah, now we just need to take that to them.
Advertising, this logo, I like it. I don't know what this is already, but
But we actually have them, were you able to, Tiffany, were you able to get those images in your email?
I didn't say.
Can we look to see, to bring them up? Or is that gonna mess you up? Because you're taking minutes too. Can I look?
No.
I don't know if you're doing
Okay, never mind. Okay. Let me, bring up one second. Just so you can visually, see.
Is there, like, did we stick to 2 colors for cost effectiveness?
So the only reason I designed it like that is essentially, if you look at the Columbia Borough logo, I just went with the one shade for the letters, even though Columbia has multiple, and then I just went with another color for the inside of the lamp, and then the your town / your parks.
Yeah.
Logos can have lots of colors. I think the main point is the logo should look good in all white and then in all black.
Right.
So that way when you put it on print posters and stuff, and I just went with green because we're Parks and Rec. If we have preferences, I can go back and make changes.
The only thing that stands out to me is the light. It's just the color and it's just for the light and.
You mean
just
this
weird. It's a
part?
more divergent thing. No, the light color.
Oh, okay. Because I kind of said the same thing. There is a darker, so this is the
Oh,
white.
that pops more than paper.
It's, right, when
I
you
said,
see.
I did
It
send
does.
you the edited one?
No, not the one where I needed it a little darker, because I was like, I can't really read your
That was a
parts.
little bright, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see, is that the one that I?
This is the one from earlier, and I was like, I love this.
Did I send you one when I darkened it up?
Mhm.
So I was working on
No.
one where it is slightly
Okay.
darker.
This is the lighter end's darker, or this is lighter and this.
So the dark green is the same, but that bright
Yeah.
green is
Just
shades
toned
darker.
down, okay.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Yep.
But we thought we'd stay in green because it is park and it will separate us because we have trees and grass, So then this is the black, what it looks like on black.
That looks good too.
Isn't that neat? And then she just used that, but that was, we originally go all green, but we didn't.
So I have
Is this the
just
same
one
shade?
thing I kind of like to see because I feel like
Yeah.
Chloe was gonna want to see it, and that would be
This is the same.
Trying to find my darker one.
So, I just feel like, I don't know, girls, for council, I don't know who designed the logo.
Todd.
Okay, so, if they don't like our color change, what about keeping the color of that and then keeping all the rest in how do you have?
You mean this blue and this green? Yeah, I don't see why not.
Oh, you
Just
mean if
another
we, the
suggestion.
Columbia stays blue because it's their logo,
Yeah.
Right.
but we still keep all
Yeah.
of this because
Yes.
it's ours.
Yes.
I would like to think they'd be okay with it because the green is Parks and Rec, but that's a good compromise.
I think, right, so save that one on the back burner. If they don't like this one, then.
Okay, I'll show it to them. We'll show it. We're gonna show.
Not the worst. Didn't know this exists when we were
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
on this,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I did get an email just here now from Todd. But I think these are kind of cool and we'd love to do this on like a stake,
Mhm.
like a yard sign,
Mhm.
and the silhouettes are in the back.
Okay.
And then we have that at each of our events. We also have a tablecloth.
Where'd they find it?
No, they had to buy it.
Oh, no.
And it got delivered Monday out of nowhere and they got a basic one.
Just
So I
this
said,
one.
listen, Heather, I'm okay, that you got a basic one, I'm glad we have one, but we're gonna need a banner. And I wouldn't mind, that to be this type of format,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So she's like, okay, well, this is getting you to National Night Out. Not him ended up there.
So we want to darken that green on the logo.
Yes.
Is there any other editing? You want me-
Yeah,
And I'm
we
gonna
have
make
to
a
add.
mock-up
Yeah,
one
do
that
it
has it in
there.
blue
Yeah.
up top. Is there any other logo work you want me to do?
Yeah, we're good.
Just those edits and send them around?
Yeah, because we eventually want to put them on shirts. So, and then we can decide what we want to do.
We'll make a nice digital imprint at
Yeah.
first for a while
Yeah.
on all
It
of our
shows us that we're
posters.
here. Yeah, I
I
love it.
have a Cricut machine. I was putting it in the
You don't want the
I said, I
Cricut.
have a Cricut machine. I'll start making it already.
I'll take the shirt.
I'll take the shirt.
Okay, so Lisa
I wish I
Meyer.
had a Cricut.
Okay, so here is the inside.
I was working on some other stuff and I just wasn't, I didn't like like I was just looking, I just didn't care for the blue when I was trying to make yard signs.
Yeah.
Like this is,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't scream Parks and Rec at all. So like
No.
working within the blue color scheme was hard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So she sent us the
We
logo.
had a water park committee at work, but.
Sign in.
Also, I
That's
thought
right.
calling it our parks or whatever was so much fun and such a fun play on
Yeah.
your town. So
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
hope
I
some.
Your
like that too. I
park.
noticed it actually, because of.
Yeah. And maybe listing the parks on the back. So
That would be
sure.
so much fun
Like you
actually.
do vendors.
With a little like,
Mm-hmm.
well, like a kayak for River Park.
Yeah.
Basketball for me.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, or have individual park shirts.
Or like just a,
Like
yeah, that's there too,
park.
like a
My park is
representation symbol
Maple.
for each park.
So, the other part of this was, QR code. We went through the survey and we said, no.
Did you even get any?
No, we didn't use it. We're just
I
looking
printed
at.
out the questions that were on the survey,
Okay.
and there's like 3 good ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't want to make it complicated.
Right.
But I bought a spinning wheel for our Parks and Rec.
Did you purchase one
I
under
did.
CNR?
I did,
So we're gonna do trivia.
yeah. So the questions, we don't care if you live in Columbia. If you come to our park,
Why are you
you're
there?
there, traffic.
Maybe what parks in Columbia do you?
Well, it says, which parks do you utilize?
Okay, there you go.
Yep. And then, the other ones, it didn't seem really, like, we thought this was too much. What brings you to a park doesn't matter, upgrades.
I kind of, maybe,
I think
maybe not all of that, but maybe circle which parks you have heard of before. So like, get rid of all of the extra here, but which of these parks have you heard of? And then we can get it and maybe which ones are
I think a question that's do you know how many parks are in Columbia?
Yeah,
Is
it's
more
that
than-
trivia type of thing. What park, here's the other one, what park is at, Rotaries, what street is that on?
Commerce.
Commerce, you
Making
know?
trivia for the wheel is gonna be fun, but I
Yeah.
think when it comes to the park questions, I think they'll develop better too. But what is it that we want to know about the park? What parks
What
that
do you
they're
want-
using in
What do they
town?
wanna see?
Yeah, what do they wanna see in the park?
Why do you go there? What do you expect? Is there anything preventing you from going there?
I like that one, didn't think about
Oh,
that.
yeah, preventing you.
The idea of
from-
asking somebody, what have you seen in another park that you would love
Yeah.
to have in a park in town
Mhm.
encompasses a lot of those questions in one?
Do that sometimes, and I hear swings from everybody here.
And Eric and I have been at this because of such a liability.
What? That is a,
That's why they took them
That
out.
is why a lot of playgrounds
Yeah.
don't.
And even-
swings
yeah, Megan
anymore.
said-
It is
because
a
I said, hey,
liability
they
issue.
need
a lot of
Municipalities.
playgrounds wear though, because if I go to Daniel's Den, there's swing sets.
Oh, Daniel's
If I
Den
go
is
to Winter
nice.
Wonderland, there's swing sets. If I go to Long Level, there's swing sets.
Which park?
If I go to Wrightsville, there's swing, up
Pines
on the
Run?
hill, back in the
Owned by
hill.
Brookfield Renewable,
Yeah.
privately owned park. It's not owned by the county. If you go to a county-owned park, they tend to not have swings. They tend to not have merry-go-rounds. They tend to have less climbing equipment.
So how
because
do we
of that.
get leadership past being afraid of that?
I don't know what Columbia's stance is
Yeah.
on the liability of playgrounds in town, except for at the river.
I mean, it's gotta be similar, because all the swings are going.
I don't ever remember there really being a swing anywhere except for Jansen.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
a few at,
Rotary has.
Rotary.
Murray and Maple have them.
back in the day, but then they got taken down pretty quick, and it was just the slide, the merry-go-round, and the little equipment when they had the old chessboard tables there too.
Maple even had an egg with monkey bars, and you could rock the whole thing, and it.
I remember the egg. We used to play sleepy alligator tag on that all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and that actually wasn't a problem. That was a fun piece of equipment.
I thought so too. So
You get some people involved in.
maybe seeing where is council at with what they think about this thing, like, I feel like it's already kind of common knowledge here, that it's wanted here, but they're not here.
I think when we go Tuesday, I can ask that question and they'll have their solicitor there.
Okay,
I mean, swings in a not school playground can work if the borough's okay with it.
Correct.
Why is there no swings in town? Is a good question to
Yeah.
ask.
something to figure out if there's a specific reason they were taken out, and what it would take to put them back in.
Yeah.
Or something. They even have ones that have like a Daniel's Den.
I love the ADA access swings.
Yeah.
Daniel's
Yes.
Den is an amazing park because it's completely ADA access, has water elements, has really great rubber mulch, like that part. And the way that they did the tents around the
Mhm.
posts that are donated, and that was their fundraising, as well as bricks. Daniel's Den is a really nice park. It'd be cool to have an ADA accessible park that has a water feature in town. I don't know what the feasibility is on it, but.
I feel like Rotary actually could maybe do that, because we can't throw a lot of big in there. So it wouldn't have a water feature, but.
Well, that's not the most important, I just meant that's a great,
Yeah,
Daniel's Den is a
yeah.
phenomenal park. People come from other communities.
But if we were to have one, what would be? Anyway, maybe.
Exercise trail plan.
Yeah,
Swings. Yeah, I already put that out. Swings. Six parks.
yeah, so basically multi-path options, we kind of touched base on it, I just feel like it's not the right time, we have too much else to.
Table.
Yeah, is it okay to keep tabling something for like a year?
Are we allowed to keep tabling?
Yeah, so let's keep pushing that one back. I don't want it to disappear. So we'll keep exercise trail, in old business for our next agenda too. And then follow-ups for each part. So we did go over Maple, YSM's doing the landscaping. Do we know, like, do they already have the materials and everything planned out? Is there any point in us, like, trying to do like a brick sale or a bench sale or any of that? And do they have a plan to break ground on it yet or anything?
No.
Okay,
It's still in design stage.
okay,
I believe I believe that stuff can be done. I believe the trail right now is macadam. And I believe that's considered the same thing, but like benches, stuff like that. Yeah, we could do like,
A brick sale or a bench sale.
yeah,
We're out of benches in the river park for memorials and on the Northwest River Trail. When people call down to the trail center and want to buy a bench or something, I have nowhere to send them right now. None of the municipalities have any more space for any of them on their sections of trail, so.
So maybe seeing how many we could get in legal.
To know where your cap would be there, yeah, and then what you would want to sell them for whatever it costs her. And then plaques.
So whoever,
Oh,
what did you guys use for benches at River?
Not sure, Wilson on Borough, would definitely know who we purchased the benches from. I mean, I could probably find that out if you needed to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's something we're gonna pursue, and I feel like it's kind of our only lead of any input in there right now. There's not a whole lot we have suggested to it, to making it happen, that plan came from before us.
Yeah, and
And
that is
then
because there was some grant money that was
Yeah, yeah.
sent from DCNR, and what's the time frame on that? What do we need to do? We have no idea, we need to.
It kind of went into Borough's hands after we got it.
So it's not for us to execute and deal with?
No, that's,
I don't think the planning of it is.
You guys need to plan it.
Functions.
Like how you go out and market or raise the awareness that they can.
Do we discover an entity to take donations or fundraising things or anything?
I'll
Did
get,
we
I'll
inquire
get,
with the park rangers?
I'll get the latest drawings from the next meeting.
okay.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay, so benches and then the street sign. That was the other thing that we were talking about.
Interpretive sign
No, the entrance for Maple Park.
that tells you about why it's called Maple.
Yeah, and the history behind that. So putting something together with that. I do have the contact information for a John Kerr, I believe. I really wanted Kurt to be involved with that meeting and everything. I'm not sure what that's gonna look like yet, but, talking about a welcome sign with the woman's information on it. Also a website. Didn't we talk about building up the parks information and how? like,
Oh,
I think that's
Parks,
important,
yeah.
yeah.
And that would be like a QR. Well, once we get our own, if we're able to get a Facebook page.
Well, interpretive signs all kind of look the same. I didn't know if you were going with an interpretive sign to match what we have in town and then a welcome sign, or if you wanted them to all be one. Because interpretive signing, that'll have like all of the logos would be Columbia's Parks and Rec.
Oh.
And you could just do a little QR code or just put the website right on the
I'm
interpretive
talking
sign.
about a permanent fixture at Maple Park. That is a Maple Park sign with her information on it.
Yeah, so I'm talking like just out here on the corner, they have like a sign that shows you what, this used to be the Opera House.
Oh,
There's
the
one
guy
down-
thing.
Yeah, there's one down at the
Okay.
park that shows you where the roundhouse used to be, Castle
Yeah.
Burning the Fish. I envision an interpretive
That
sign that
too.
tells history, because
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yeah, so yeah, they have one at the Legion over there, but that's not for Maple, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Maple should be an interpretive
own,
sign,
yeah.
and then you should design, or whatever should be designed as a welcome.
Yeah,
But this should be right there as, this is real history. Tell you her story and then how it became this park story. Really make that connection.
I haven't had a call.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
was like,
either.
what?
No, it's okay.
Or-
As soon as I said it, I understood the disconnect. I was like, no, you don't know what I'm going. We want the same thing.
And then, any other follow-ups for River Park stuff?
Right now, the only thing that's happening in River Park are, some issues over parking, but Labor Day is about to be here. And that will change over, will allow people to park anywhere again. Aside from that, we are all ears on any word from PennDOT on the bridge project. Some meetings are gonna happen in the fall. We hope maybe to get some information out of there, even if it's preliminary and changes. Just kind of any information we can get is great. There also are some issues with the building. There's some wood rot on some of the pillars in the building, maybe some lack of maintenance. So there will need to be some repairs in the not super near, but not very distant future too. So that might time up with the bridge project, and the River Park and Columbia Crossings might have to be closed for a short time while that stuff happens. Same with some repairs on some of the railing on the deck and stuff. People have been pretty hard on it over the years. And just the nature of how it goes together, it all has to come apart to fix a few things. So it's just a liability to try and deal with them.
I do have a question. I have heard someone wants to put an art down. at
So we are
the park.
getting a sculpture exhibit. It's been on our calendar for 2 years. It's coming on the 24th this month. And we've had temporary art installations in the past in the park. There was a recycling one for a time being, a big fixture that was filled with recycling. So while this sculpture exhibit is inside, they wanted to do a temporary installation of 2 to 3 art fixtures outside in the park as well.
And when is that to go in?
So the inside of the building is slated to happen the 24th and the 25th of
So
this
the
month.
inside is the 24th and 25th of August?
Yep. I don't recommend you come see it that day. You come see it starting that Tuesday.
Okay,
But
so
yeah.
that's when they're bringing it inside.
As for the outside elements, there is a little bit of confusion happening or issue if, I don't know that it ever went to get Borough Council approval, so we're trying to work on figuring that out before Tuesday, which is part of the reason why I can be at the meeting.
Okay.
So I don't
How long
know
will they be there?
if they're gonna be
The art sculpture?
the art outside.
Yeah.
Will probably be there about as long as it is in the inside, and we're looking at it being there 6 to 9 months. So, yeah, we're gonna have this exhibit over winter.
And what kind of exhibit?
Sculptures,
Just anything?
so
Is it
every
recyclable?
exhibit we have has to be river related.
Okay.
When I asked him about it, I didn't get much information. He doesn't even have a name of it yet. It's a group of sculptors working together. It's like a Baltimore sculptor group.
Okay.
I mean, they're not all from Baltimore, but that's the name of the group.
Mhm.
So they're either gonna be river related in looks or river related in materials. Probably a blend of both. Like we might see some driftwood and shell usage, and then we might see sculptures that look like flowing water.
Now, can I ask a question? If, who did this go to first?
So in
Because I know we have this other.
In January, the conversation started with Mark Stivers.
Oh.
And then in March, Clifton went to Parks and Recreation meeting where there was Parks and Rec was great, or not Parks, I'm sorry, River Park was fine with it. There was just, their recommendation was that it went to council for approval. It fell through the cracks at
Yeah,
some point
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and is getting picked up today, so we're
Yeah.
working on sorting that out.
So would in the future, would those kinds of things need to come to Parks and Rec since their River Park is under us? Or because there's this little subcommittee, kind of like,
I think that's a great question because River
because it kind
Park
of makes it.
has its own committee that still meets. But I don't think that means it doesn't need to be on Parks and Rec radar, like we should maybe
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Not every exhibit has installations outside, but yeah, I think maybe we decide moving forward that maybe both committees, we should definitely know, and if we have harsh feelings on it, and then obviously River Park
Well,
maybe.
either one, move it along. If there's not getting a response back, and we all like it or whatever.
I would not move it along if Parks and Rec said yes and River Park didn't get to weigh in. I would want River Park to weigh in.
Okay.
They're a pretty passionate ad hoc group that continue to meet. So I would want their opinions on it, it was easy to get.
I wonder why they're not in the River Park. Why are they not part of Parks and Recs? Why are they not?
To my knowledge, and Eric or somebody else may be able to speak to this who's been around and on council longer, is they were originally put together when they were doing the planning.
I remember.
Yeah, and they
I
just
do.
decided not to break up and continue meeting. At the time, I don't know when they originally started, if there even was a Parks and Rec committee at all. I don't know, that's a great question, I don't have the answer for it.
Do you have an answer?
Yeah, the River Park Committee is actually an ad hoc of Parks and Rec.
Of Parks,
But we never meet with them.
this goes way back.
Yeah, I know. I was
Really know
here
the
with my mom and
details.
dad's home remodeling it when they were
Their
starting.
whole goal was
Nothing.
phase 1, phase 2,
Yeah.
and now phase 3.
Right.
That's it.
That's their focus, very on
They're just focusing on the phases
the River Park. Yes.
and that's it.
And unfortunately, it's been put on hold for 5, 6 years.
Why?
Because of the bridge.
What's in,
What's in phase 3? Yeah.
what's in phase 3 that interrupts the bridge, or what's?
So the
So-
bridge splits the park in half, think of it like that.
Yeah.
They can't drive under the bridge or walk under it while they're working on it.
Right.
So there's no other way to get to the park unless you go under the bridge.
The other thing
No
is,
development can happen.
to drive over, there's a creek that runs through there.
Yeah.
That bridge, whatever,
The culvert needed to be
Yeah.
fixed.
we're putting a whole new one in for that. So we can't, and we're also gonna run utilities back through there. So we can't do any of that until and after we have the construction stuff.
PennDOT has an easement and will be utilizing that same space during the bridge project.
But that's
But
the
that's not
final.
till 27, we couldn't do anything until then?
So that doesn't start till 27, but they've already got cranes on the bridge. So they will be doing things in the park before that happens in preparation.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I understand the project doesn't start till then. That's not really close the road, but the project is underway right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just, I think it'll just be a little too hairy for all of that to work
So
together.
they don't want to be involved in any of this. They just worrying about finishing those phases and.
Yeah, and they were in huge talks with, do we quickly try to get some stuff done so that way PennDOT has a reimburse, or what do we do with this new thing looming over us? And we're just gonna sit and hold tight.
wait it out.
We don't have enough, they didn't have enough information to make any sort of decision on moving forward except for to not.
Okay.
Rotary Park,
And let me just say one other thing. Parks and Rec, or, Parks and Rec, the River Park Committee, Commission, whatever you want to call it, ad hoc committee, it's open to the public.
Yeah.
So you're, if you
You're
want
welcome to go to those meetings.
Yes.
I know, I've been to a couple. Huh? You know, it happens down there.
It's down at Columbia Crossing.
Yep, been with them.
Yeah, they made it 4 o'clock now, so I can't do it.
Oh, yeah, I can't either.
But, I mean, and I don't even know if they're having that many, I think their meetings have been pushed back like quarterly now.
oh, because they have to wait.
Yeah, they don't have anything going on.
Right.
Yeah, they met recently so that they could have a conversation about those sculptures
okay.
and to have a conversation about the pins
That's
and
neat.
stuff. So-
That's
So something came up from someone else about the water runoff, foliage, whatever the correct term is, off of River Park, that there were some areas that might have been an issue. Is that something you're familiar with?
I don't know specifically what you're speaking to. It could be something in the park, certainly. I do know that the entire boat parking is pervious paving to let water go into it. Runoff is a natural thing that happens.
Right.
We can't stop it. There is some issues with like maybe boat fuel and stuff, but there are rain gardens down there. I tried 2 years ago to revamp them and it's not happening. They're not actually rain gardens. They're very shallow and they don't function the way they want to.
So maybe that's what they were talking about. Is there something that needs?
And then I was supposed to, and I've been trying to get quotes, professional quotes, and actually I tried to get one from Jimmy Jones
Yeah.
here in town too,
Yeah.
who I've been waiting on for months, and kind of just moved on from. I've been trying to get quotes from professionals to have them completely be done, and part of it at the expense of the master watershed stewards of Lancaster, Dauphin, and Lebanon County, and I can just get no leeway. I can get no professional to come out and give me a vote on them.
So is it landscaping only, or is this another thing that maybe living to do that kind of physical training?
So I was taking that one under my volunteer role as a master watershed steward. So the funding was coming from them to have it done, but it's just sort of fizzling out right now. Prior to us attempting to plant in them, they just get mowed by the borough,
Yeah.
just like they have been this year, and that's just how
Oh,
it's
so they're
been.
getting mowed over.
Well, otherwise they just grow. It has
Yeah.
to be moved.
It has to
Yeah.
be, yeah.
And before I did the work on them, there were trees and other stuff in them. Now they can very easily be mowed over. I would love to see something happen, but I'm just a one person.
Well, what is it that needs to happen? What are you thinking?
So we did a full planting in them 2 years ago in June, which was rushed because of grant. It never should have been planted in June. I was mad about that, but we have to do what we have to do for grants. But what it needs to be is a pollinator garden. It gets full sun all summer long, and then occasional rain, and then gets swamped with rain in the fall. We call them rain gardens because that's what we want them to be, but they're not. They're
The
not.
pollinator,
But then a pollinator garden is just flowers and stuff for butterflies. They
Right.
tend to take full sun, can hold a lot of water, or be drought resistant. They're a little more hardy
Yeah.
plants. It is a little hard because that stuff requires a bit more maintenance.
right?
It's hard to find something that can be low maintenance and mowed over, or be professionally done and just be mulched. And that's just kind of where, short of money, I don't know how else to get it done. I tried to volunteer my time and minimal efforts and grant money to do a rain garden in Italy. And I just don't have enough resources to get it done that year.
So what do you think, you don't have a quarter yet. What do you think it would take, but you don't know?
You don't know what it would take
That's
to
where I'm
do it.
stuck, yeah.
Like
And
the
I don't-
mulching and,
I don't know if it's just the economy right now. I was recommended by, I guess it would be the person who orchestrates the whole program for the Master Watershed Stewards in Lower Susquehanna. Like the director told me to go get professional quotes. We're going to get this done. He's very passionate about getting something down there that Columbia is happy with. But do you guys know somebody who
I
does
have
landscaping?
one lead.
I would love that information.
Okay.
Because I chose a lot of local businesses to inquire with because I figured they would be passionate about the project.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the costs are, they would provide something really, really good. But I think they're busy,
busiest.
or the
for this
economy
time,
has its
yeah.
own issues, yeah, but I've hit some hang-ups there. I do not like to see them just be grass.
Okay.
It bothers me. It's because it bothers me because I took the effort on and it's not going well.
And you know, under the funding that you guys already have available as for the park to do it.
For the watershed.
Yeah, I mean, I can touch base with Jim again. The Master Watershed Stewards are able to get grants from the state, local, and federal government when it comes to things that keep our waterways clean. So putting in gardens, rain gardens, things like that.
All right. Anything else for River? Okay, Rotary, we don't really have too much to talk about. Town square's not here. I haven't been off. I've seen the plants and everything, and the water was running at least a few days ago. But I haven't any other updates on that. The next one-
Yeah, I've been seeing, it looks nice still. I mean, the plants look great and the fountain's still up and running.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from Nora about the next cleanup, but, or weed pulling party, but I imagine she's probably gonna have one here in August.
And then McGinnis, I feel like that's really more on Todd's page, but he's not in, and so that's kind of on hold anyway, because he's not here yet.
I did want
Lisa's
to add
trying
something about that.
Okay, Lisa's trying to get, may have already in the last few days got Todd Sylvia's contact information, because she was really big with the rec center.
Yeah,
she wants to haul rec center, and that's his thing too, so that's like a connection, we were trying to make, so I expect that kind of, with the park, I expect that really to be focused with that.
That's exciting for them. To
Yeah.
both have a little passion project they can share.
And anything else?
So with McGinnis, there's going to be a part of it that is natural preserve.
Just like green space.
Yes,
develop.
yes, thank you, green space. And there's an organization that flies motored hang gliders. I'm gonna call it that. Is that what it's called? Motorized hang gliders. You sit in them.
There's a guy locally who takes lots of cool pictures and.
Well, he's probably our
He
friend.
probably is.
Yes, he works with my husband. So they have a whole organization and they're looking for a place to have their overnight thing. They'll camp there and then fly up. They could fly straight down to Susquehanna, take it from McGinnis, go up, but they would sit in this space, bring their tents, and do their thing. They really want to rent that spot.
Why couldn't we be part of the camping?
Now, I think they do. I think, you mean like the whole green space?
Well, maybe not all of it, but some of it.
Yeah.
Do you think they would put a camping site in McGinnis somewhere?
No,
Like any electrical so
No.
people can hook up? No.
Camping is such a rough thing right now.
Look, she
on
does
the East
camping for a
Coast.
living. She had a campground.
It's a rough go. There are some plans to do primitive campsites in the River Park plan, so I mean, it is realistic to add some primitive camping to parks when it makes sense.
But I guess what this.
I think it'd be cool to have a green space that these guys
Could
could fill some
do-
kind of special permit
Yeah,
out to camp
and you
out
could
at.
make some money off of it, but, I mean, it's big money in that. But, do they stay for a weekend here? Do you know, like, what
yeah,
their,
it's just a weekend.
it's a weekend stay? Did they, I mean, they can honestly come here and talk to us about it and ask us when.
I think it will.
Okay,
One of the biggest problems is, what the borough's going to do. If we start construction early next year, that kind of, because he can't do it this year.
he would,
Nothing can be done this year.
right,
But if we start too early next year, we may interfere, not be able to do a project like that. His thought was though, with the runways, the Susquehanna,
yeah,
there's people come from all over the United States to.
Oh, it's a better location than Maytown Airport even. Absolutely.
So, he was just looking at an idea of, doing that.
People would love that, that's the whole attraction.
yeah, we would like watch them take off.
It would be a big attraction.
Yeah.
For bringing outside people with
It would
Yeah.
be, like
Yeah,
something
people-
big like that. The
So,
ferry, like the ferry thing we were saying earlier, that would be just a.
yes, the
Thing.
same, we've talked about that too. How do we get them across?
I just have to warn, owning a boat is a headache.
Okay.
You can ask the people up at Harrisburg City Island
Yeah,
that
I
too.
know, I
They had
did
to
all
pull
that.
her out of the
May I
privilege.
have a motion to adjourn? Second. Megan, all in favor?
Aye. We did
Awesome.
that in an hour and 20 minutes. We're getting
Stop
better.
it.
We're getting
Good job,
better.
And also fun time.
I know. Hey, we're not doing too bad for just having the three of
It
us.
was missing, like,
We are getting stuff done.
I feel a little
the
bit.
fun
better.
part of it is looking for that.
All right, so I gotta sign these.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Heather is also, we can put this in there. Heather is checking on emails. Can't, sorry.